Buongiorno. Welcome to Little Filmosa. I'm YJ.
I'm Shuying.
And I'm Jun.
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome everyone.
Yo, can travel again with this in Malaysia.
Yeah,
Interstate
tomorrow can cross state already.
Are rather cases gone down than the open border. But we can't hope too much.
Yeah, this is good lah. People can go back to see their families.
True also. But have to take care as well. You don't want to bring it back to your family, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. You should always look on the bright side, just like the movie. Life is
Yes.
beautiful. An Italian movie released in 1997, directed and acted by Roberto Benigni himself, while the main actress in the movie is played by his wife, Nicoletta Brassia.
His real wife.
I'm not sure, did they marry before they act in this movie or after? I think they are partner at that time, right?
Okay, I just googled. They married before the movie, 1991.
Oh wow. Okay.
So they already become a husband and wife before they acted on this movie, right? That's interesting. So, June actually recommended me this movie quite a long time ago. I think you watched it before also, right?
Yeah. Quite a while ago, 5-6 years. I know 6 years back when we were staying together.
Yes. The movie Life is Beautiful, when I look at the poster and the name, it's just something like kind of depressing. I'm not too sure. So I never really want to watch it until now, which we decided to do this podcast. So what do you think
this podcast made me watch a lot of movies that otherwise I wouldn't watch. But yeah, it's always a pleasant surprise.
Yes.
So the movie, right? I think I love it. I still like it a lot. I would give it a 8.5 or even 9. It's just so meaningful, and it really shows how much a father is willing to sacrifice, right, for their kids. Fatherly love, or parentsly love. And it's depicted in such a nice way, or it's actually quite a fit context, right, where it's in World War II and things are so harsh and so extreme, but that kind of love still prevails, or actually still comes out. In a way, it prevails because the kid actually survived until the end and actually reunited with the mom, right? And that's, although the dad dying is a tragedy, but then them reuniting is quite heartwarming. And I remember when they kid reunite with the mom, the kid was saying, because there was a narrative voice that comes out and say that, that is the greatest gift that my dad has gave to me. Oh, that scene, I always cry. I always tear up in that scene. First time I tear up, second time I also tear up.
And I think it's very well crafted, and in the end where it ended with the kid saying that actually that we won. So it's actually it's inspired by the book In the End I Beat Hitler by Rubino Romeo Salmoni, and also by the story told by his father, who spent 2 years in German concentration camp during the World War II.
Oh, is it? Oh wow. Okay. So his father was a kid back then in the concentration camp.
I'm not too sure, is it a kid or an adult? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but I just it's also a very creative way to show what World War II is like and what Holocaust is like, because we always think about it as war, a lot of fighting, and then in my head it's always like, Pearl Harbor, Dunkirk, and all this, like, that's like fighting and everything. But like the first time I watched this movie, I was, okay, you can actually portray World War II in such a way that is more an individual struggle, individual sacrifice, even though the person doesn't have any arms, right, doesn't carry a gun or whatever. I think it's quite meaningful. Yeah.
I'm surprised that it lacks any violence at all. but it also makes sense, right? Because this movie is labeled as drama or comedy. So,
Yeah.
what do you think, Shuing?
Actually I know this film for quite long time already one. I think one thing this is side note. I like the Mandarin translations of this film. The because the first time I watched when I read about this it wasn't translated as Life is Beautiful. Mandarin is 美丽人生 嘛. It was translated as 一个快乐的传说, a happy tale. So I already know the concept of this film is that they use a more creative and happier tone to tell a sad story, and I really like it. Actually, I find for me I think it's also I think it's a 9 out of 10 kind of movie, because I think I really appreciate the creativeness, the creativity of the film, as the way it told that is a, because whenever we talk about World War II, it's such a heavy subject and such depressing, but it was really told in a very loving and I feel that it's full of human elements that like to tell about the story. I also tear up when when the kids say at the end, he says that, oh, this is the greatest gift my father left to me. I was like, I think it couldn't have done better. I like Guido character, as in he loved his wife wholeheartedly. He bring happiness to his wife, and even in a very messy and a very depressing kind of era, he still managed to bring happiness to his kids. The story is very moving, and I think the directing and also the acting are very solid lah. The I feel that the acting actually full
true,
of
yeah.
is I can understand why Jun's love it, because Jun is a Charlie Chaplin's fan. It full of quite a lot of slapstick comedy element. Actually, I was like, oh, and Roberto Benigni. Okay, I'm sorry if I pronounce it wrong. He's very smooth in a comedy in
Yeah.
all the comedy element.
We can see why he won the best actor, right?
Yes. Even though I don't understand the language, but you can, you're like, oh, this is really one very, very outstanding performance.
It almost feels like the whole movie, he brings a lot of energy to the movie. Like he is like I cannot imagine the movie without him or a different actor. And he is someone that I wish I can be more like. I mean, the character really appreciates every moment in life, right? Where he actually have a lot of gratitude to everything that's around him. Where you remember at the start, the car actually got issues, and then he was in this farmland where he meets his the girl, right? And then he was like, wow, these tomatoes is like so beautiful, and like what nice place is this, and there's woman dropping from the sky. This is it's very, very positive and yet also very poetic way.
Yeah, I think just now YJ, when you say that it was based on the book and also based on partially Roberto Benigni father story, I think it makes sense. I think it makes sense because I do feel the story has you can feel the energy and the passion in it. Actually, because I think whenever the creator they tell a story that is very personal to them, you can always feel the feeling is much more stronger. That's how I feel the whole movie is. I feel it's very smooth. Even it's a very old movie, but it's very smooth and it's very it's still classic for me. I was like, oh, it's still moving and classic.
Yeah, for me, I think I would like give it 7 out of 10. So they label this movie as a drama comedy, but to put it more accurately, I would say this is a drama comedy with dark undertone. Like there's no punishment at all. There's no violence. There's no punishment. It's a very different kind. It's like, for example, if when he used the microphone to the loudspeaker to announce their safety to Dora, his wife, there's no repercussion or any sort of thing. And yeah, I can't say I would rate too highly of this movie, but but it's very refreshing and enjoyable for me. So I'm truly immersed with Roberto Benigni's role as Guido because of his with his sharp and optimistic outlook in his life or on his life. So although the highlight of this movie is how he shield his son from the reality of the concentration camp by disguising their situation into a game that they can win, right? But however, some of the dialogue in the scene are way too long for my liking. A bit chong.
The way he convinced his kid, is it?
Yes, it's a bit too much. So it makes me appreciate how modern film edit and able to convey the point across with just enough scene or just a shorter scene for me.
But well, I think it didn't bother me lah. But I get what you mean lah.
I actually like it. I actually pay attention to every single thing he said to his kid. I said, oh, why would he want to put that word there? Why would he want to use these words to say? I think it's I think it's just maybe biased because when I like the film, I just
Understand.
But some scenes with the long dialogue, come on, is great, man. Like the way he translate the when he first to the camp and how he translate the German I think like the one that give instruction, he translate it to his son basically. Oh, that scene I think is great. You know, you see how he crap all the way.
So interesting, this scene. You know, because this movie is in a foreign language, right, which we don't really understand both Italian and German. They didn't really translate the German at all.
Yes. Yes.
And I also did not purposely go and look up for the proper translation because I want to feel how, like, even though I don't understand it, it's very interesting.
But the second time I watched,
but
Did
maybe
you look it up, like what he say or something?
no, but I know a little bit. I know when he say first, second, third. Like,
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Last.
no, but I think he also meant for we are like his kids. Basically, we experience it
Yes.
like the kids. He doesn't understand also. Then he just listen to the father. I was like, oh, that scene is great. The you thought it's going to end already. Oh, still goes on.
Yeah.
But the second time when I watched it, I just realized that he actually took calculated risk. It's not that he just simply go and translate because he know that Bartolomeo knows German.
Knows.
Yeah, so at the end when he walked back, right, he said, oh, everyone just ask Bartolomeo if he actually know what he says.
But the guy didn't volunteer at all.
Yeah, he's just lazy or like don't care, right?
Yeah.
I noticed that as well. I was like, oh, okay. So at least they still get the meaning. But then he took the chance that for his kid lah.
There's one thing that's been bothering me. Not bothering. It doesn't make any sense to me. It's like I'm wondering how are they still living in the same city when he literally steal Dora who are engaged to Rodolfo. So this rich but arrogant local government official. Why are they still living in the city?
Yeah, I didn't thought of that. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, I do feel that it's quite a lot of slapstick comedy element here, and it's very smooth lah. But it really kind of remind me of Charlie Chaplin kind of. I'm not that familiar, but it remind me of that kind of comedy.
It doesn't remind me much of that though.
At the
For me,
start,
more
at the start,
Charlie Chaplin.
At the start only.
the
at the
starting
beginning,
part.
yes.
The starting part, I was like, I thought I'm watching a Charlie Chaplin comedy, you know.
Like the way he used the stick to put his head up, right? Floating.
Because I was like, I didn't because I roughly know the concept, but when I first watched, I didn't know that it really took some time to build the character, to tell the father and the mother story. Then so I was like, I thought you were just right away to go to the concentration camp, that things but but I was I think it's good because we spend some time with the lead character Guido to see how he seemed before, like before the concentration camp, like during, I think, so-called the peace period, and how was his character. He all this while, I think he also very
Character
optimistic.
development.
Yeah,
Very good, yeah.
he's a very optimistic person. He has humor.
He doesn't change at all, even though the environment changed. He
Yeah,
himself,
yeah.
he doesn't change at all.
But that's why it make it even shine when he was in concentration camp. He's still who he is actually. That's what caught me. That's what give me very huge surprise actually. I thought it was just like, oh, straight away, like maybe some build up, then go to the call already. I was like, oh, I can understand why Dora picked him actually. Yeah, I think women want to feel love. His love is with passion, not that arrogant guy that she was engaged with lah. Maybe, but they also purposely make the character a bit caricature like that.
I can understand the movie sense lah, but if you're gonna do it in this era, you're gonna get restraining order.
But maybe
True,
only in
true.
Asia though. I don't know how is it in. I mean, it might be different. Just keep remembering like Buongiorno Principessa.
Yeah, me too.
Buongiorno
Principessa.
Yeah, the wife would feel that he really make her feel like a princess actually.
Yeah, it's really old school classic. Picking up girl.
Old school classic love lah.
The setup during the whole courtship, right? Courting him is so well done. It's like they put in before, he set up all the scenes beforehand. It's like the key drop from the Mary and up to the riddle, and then the hat, everything. Oh,
The
so
hat
nice.
change.
Yes.
Everything comes into play. It's very well written. In the end, it's like
Yes.
connected to each other. It's very nice. I love that part.
That's not even a climax. That's just like some preamp kind of thing.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
it's very well crafted in a way. They thought about all this before, and then they make it like a separate small story, but in the end it's all connected to make one huge comedy. It's so nice.
The comedy element here is very outstanding.
There was one scene, you asked the head guy, right? So the guy who always got his hat changed, right? That guy.
Yeah.
Guido asked him what is his political stance.
Yes.
Then one kid is Benito, which is Benito Mussolini, and then one kid is Adolf. He's Adolf Hitler.
Yes.
So he's like totally,
I was like-
you don't have to say.
I was like, because I'm not that familiar with Benito, but when it come Adolf, then I was like, okay, I kind of guess it, but then so I still Google, but it was so. But that scene was great because like even you don't know the name, but if from their dialogue I think you will catch it. I was like, okay, that part is great.
Yeah, so smart. So there's this one theme that I saw throughout the movie, which is called the theme silence. Is brought up several times throughout the movie. So the first time is when his uncle was harassed when Guido and Ferruccio first arrived at his uncle's place, and that's where he said, "Sometimes silence is the best weapon," which signifies bravery. And then the reader also relate to the silence.
Silence, yes.
And then next is where Dr. Lee Sing, who is being silent about the treatment of the Jews, nor recognizing Guido until he said something, show that his silence is actually a cowardice. So this is very well done as well.
Yes, I like that part actually. I was like, oh, okay. The riddle has some. I think that riddle is very good. The silence one. I was like, oh, that's great. Then after that he met the doctor in the camp. I was like, okay, I think for me the movie really go into more sadder tone is when he thought the doctor would help them, but actually no, the doctor he just really immersed in his own world, in his own reader world.
That part.
That part was quite you can see Guido is heartbroken. I was like, oh, that scene is great.
Yeah, I interpret that part as Dr. Lee Sing like cannot understand his situation because as a form of trauma, and then using Riddle as a form of escape from the reality, in my opinion. Or either that, or he's just lacks the ability to emphasize others. But I think it's like a sort of trauma thing, because we can see like he's not really that evil, right? But
But
just
he,
can't comprehend.
I feel that the people at their time, the German armies at that time is very institutionalized, right? So they are brainwashed totally to see Jews as non-human. So for him, it's like I feel I look it at a slightly more evil tone, where darker tone, where it's not he's trying to escape from trauma, but it's just he just maybe it's like seeing a dog being inside a cage. He don't feel anything because he feel that they are not humans.
They are not human at all.
I think this is good interpretation. That scene I also feel like for me it gave me a feeling that your pain and your suffering and your life, even your life and your child life is at stake. But then
Not my problem.
some other people that who not my problem. It feels so. You can feel the sadness of him. You can feel the like. I think for him until that moment, things got real. Yeah, then but that scene also it really it also, or at least it made me feel like things just got real. It wasn't really the game as the kids see.
There are some scary moments though. I think, like the scary moments for me is not like fighting, but because he takes a lot of risk and he banned a lot of rules. So at any point, because like this is my second time I see it, I know he didn't die. Only at the end, but like first time I see it, I was always worried that he's gonna die anytime soon. Like he played the music and then gonna get killed. The time where another waiter figured out that his kid doesn't speak German. Also very worried for him. I was generally quite worried of his safety the whole time, because for me it's not very rational to actually do all these small things and take such big risks, right, just to make your kid's life easier. But that's me lah. I mean, because that's why I'm not a parent. but yeah, I was generally like quite worried, like, oh shit, like when like if they caught him doing this, then what will happen to him?
But I'm not feeling that worried or that intense. Beside the scene that like he really broadcast the song and like he was communicate with his wife, I was like, won't you
Yeah, there's a
won't
part,
you be caught, man?
like, if you get caught, I mean realistically he'll be shot to death, right, on the spot.
Yeah.
Because and the kid has been running around. I don't think it's impossible.
I'm more worried.
He's not
I
being
also
caught
more worried
at all,
about the kid running around, and I think instead of saying live, maybe I'm more worried that I hope the lie won't be being revealed to the kid. I hope that all these things still kept as a game for the kid as well. I'm more worried in that sense actually. I wish the kid can be can continue that lah. And that's why I think the ending for me is very satisfying when it really got the real. I think I start to broke into tears is when the real tanks reach, and the boy is so happy. He's all this is real. I was like, it's a bit miracle, but then I still buy it.
Surprisingly, this movie doesn't make me feel that sad. I feel like it's kind of dark, but I don't really like cry or anything.
I think movies nowadays are more dark.
And I also cry. I mean, I cry easily when the movie is sad or anything, but for this movie, I'm not that sad.
Yeah,
honestly.
you watch too. You're desensitized by the modern movies. I think honestly, it's too very dark. Too dark.
No, until he was being shot, I was like, okay, you feel the the sadness, but I still not really like also tearing up. I think I start to tear like start got teary is when the tank, but I think I really cry is when the moment that the kid say that's a gift the father gave him. I was like, I cannot. That's a part that it really broke me. I was like, I think the story tell in a very creative way. That's what I really like about that.
Yes. I mean, there are people who question this his way of directing this movie, right? He put it in a very happy way to and in this kind of dark history of the past, right? But I think it's very good, yeah. It's very refreshing, I would say. It's right, nice, yeah. I would definitely recommend people watch it once.
I mean, I like it also that it's spoken in Italian the whole time, and you can kind of really feel the passion, and also I guess you get to know a little bit more about Italian culture, in that sense.
Yeah, I think I like it is it does feel very personal, the story. That's why it feel real for me. The emotions wise.
The only enjoyable part, I mean, I enjoy the whole movie, but the part that I really enjoy is the sequence where they lead up to the key falling and all, and also the beginning when they're driving through the countryside. The vibe it's very nice at the beginning. This whole so I saw like some people said that it's already being told that his life is not under his control because from the beginning his car is already out of control and he cannot brake. I mean, he cannot control his life in the beginning, straight away from the beginning.
Interesting interpretation.
Yeah, it's a very interesting interpretation.
I think a lot of people read too much into.
Yeah, agree.
That is true. Sometimes they read too much as
It
well.
might not be the intention.
Sometimes too
Yes.
many that kind of YouTube video is like, what is that mean? What is this mean? I was like, I sometimes think creator themselves some is purposeful, but some I really don't think it was purposeful. They just think creatively and think just click. I feel that lah. Then, well,
But it's
Or
cool,
maybe
right?
it
I
was
as
mean,
long as they enjoy reading it.
like people connect the dots for you, right? Which is also cool. I mean, as a creator, you can also learn from the network that actually.
Yeah. For sure.
There's a saying say that after your work's done, basically the author or the creator, you are dead. You are dead for the work already. It left to the audience to interpret lah. I quite like this saying as well. Although sometimes I do think people over reading into a lot of things.
Yeah, that's why they call it a masterpiece, right? And a lot of people have a lot of interpretation based on like a single line.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about the Schopenhauer method? Do you guys like read up about it or any thoughts about it?
No, I didn't.
It's a very famous German
Interesting.
philosopher. Yeah, but I don't really know much about it.
It
about
sounds
you
like the law of attraction, the secret. the modern version. No, I mean like
Is
if
it?
you want something, you put your thought into it and it will happen.
True,
It's actually I don't really know what he
true.
exactly preached, Schopenhauer, but I mean probably is one of his ideas.
Yeah, I think that's about it for me.
No, but I think the final thing I want to say is I learned from this movie. I know it sounds very cliche, but I think the key thing is whatever that happens to you can happen. It's out of control, but how you react to it is upon your control. I this is like a cliche thing, but it really is true, and I think it really reminds me of this.
Yeah, if you can do it, that is like I don't think like
Yeah. It's easy to say it always.
it's almost
Yeah.
impossible to actually do it. Honestly, it seems really unrealistic. Yeah, I mean, definitely there'll be people who can do it, but I think it's kind of unrealistic as well.
But I think it's a spectrum also. So maybe people won't be hitting like the super positive, but if you are somewhere in the middle or slightly above average, then I think the chances of you surviving is higher than the ones that is always really depressed at the yeah.
True. It's always better to look at the bright side.
Yeah.
If you can.
Good. Good takeaway.
Alright. That is all from us for this episode. For our next episode, we're gonna do this quite a recent movie called Free Guy, directed by Sean Levi, starring Ryan Reynolds and Judy Comer. So until then, that's it from us. See you.
See you.
Bye.
Bye everyone.
Bye.